Representative of Israel.
Thank you, Mr. President. Today, we mark 7 decades since the adoption of the United Nations Charter. The adoption of the Charter was a milestone in the progress of nations toward a more integrated, a more secure, and a more peaceful world. The 70th anniversary is a time to celebrate the important accomplishment of this institution's past, but it is also an opportunity to reflect on the course we are charting as an organization today. As we gather to honor the vision and the values of the founding document, let us ask ourselves, are we living up to the ideal and commitments visualized by the Charter? The Charter envisions a world in which nations unite to solve pressing political, economic, and social challenges. And indeed, looking back on the achievement of the past 70 years, the profoundly important humanitarian work of the United Nations is an ongoing legacy that we can all be proud of. Every day, UN programs and personnel help to improve the lives of millions around the world by distributing food aid, protecting the environment, vaccinating children, and in countless other constructive capacities. Just last month, world leaders adopted a landmark agenda at the Sustainable Development Summit. Today, we committed to tackle the critical challenges facing the globe over the next 15 years to end poverty, fight inequality and injustice, and to address climate change. For an example, when the largest and most widespread Ebola epidemic in human history struck in West Africa last year, the UN mobilized a quick and coordinated response. As a small country, we are proud to have done our part and to have been the 6th largest financial contributor to the effort with the highest contribution per capita of all member states. And yet, we must be honest. In many areas, the United Nations has not lived up to the expectations and ideals enshrined in its charter. The credibility of this institution depends on its integrity. As a representative of the State of Israel, I also cannot allow this celebration to pass without mentioning the obsessive and disproportionate focus on my country in this institution, as could have been seen by the statement made by the OIC just a few minutes ago. In the past year alone, the General Assembly adopted 20 resolutions against Israel. 20 resolutions. By contrast, only 1 resolution was adopted addressing the daily carnage in Syria, where hundreds of thousands have been killed, and only 1 resolution on the human rights violation in Iran was adopted. In this anti-Israeli climate, it is no wonder that recently, according to reports, at least 10 different UNRWA staffers, officials of the United Nations, have posted insightful and hateful anti-Israeli and anti-Jewish pictures and videos on the internet. Ask yourself, why did employees of the United Nations see nothing wrong with doing such a thing? Next month, we will commemorate 40 years since the infamous Zionism is Racism resolution. Although this shameful stain on the character of this organization has been formally revoked, the disgraceful and biased treatment of Israel continues unabated. The ongoing double standard an effort to delegitimize my country in this hall is not only harmful to Israel, it denigrates the core principle of this institution and what it was founded for. It calls its very credibility into question. Mr. President, with courage and humility, with resolve and fairness, let us march forward together to make the United Nations a more relevant and a more just place, and strive to live up to the organization's most fundamental goals. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the distinguished representative of Israel, and I now give